Hey everyone, I'm here with former Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral John Richardson, my shipmate from times at OpNav, and we just want to send a shout out to all of the National Naval Officers Association in remembrance of our 50th anniversary.
Sink, I can't believe NNOA is 50 years old. I've just been churning hard for that entire time. They're so lucky to have you as the current president, Sink. So you give the team direction and focus and enthusiasm like you always bring. But I'll tell you what, I can't think of anyone better than NNOA who has done so much to recruit and retain and educate our shipmates in the service of really bringing the diversity we need into our officer corps. So thanks so much for doing that. To NNOA, thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you, sir. Stronger together.
There we go.
Hi, my name is John Greenert, Navy veteran and former Chief of Naval Operations. I want to thank you all at NNOA for providing me this opportunity to share a few thoughts and really just pass along my congratulations and thanks. First, let me say your logo is amazing. I love that logo. It reminds me for the laws of the Navy. One hand for the ship and one hand for the shipmate. Very nice. People of all colors. I want to thank President Sinclair Harris for this opportunity and for serving as president of NNOA and for many years of being a great shipmate of mine. Congratulations, NNOA. 50 years. It's astounding. 5 decades of service. It seems like yesterday when I became aware of NNOA, albeit later in my career, but nonetheless, it still feels like yesterday. So thanks for serving the sea services, particularly our Navy, and helping us pursue the diversity that will make and has made us a powerful service and our most effective service. Also, thank you for the sacrifice of the mentors of NNOA. It's very impressive to see your dedication to your constituents and to our goals for the Navy and its diversity, recruiting, and retention. Lastly, I want to thank NNOA for teaching me how to listen when people talk. I hear a lot, but it's been my time at NNOA events, in the larger events, and most importantly in the seminars, where I've learned to listen more to people. So have a great event at the end of July, a well-earned celebration. Congratulations, and thanks again for this opportunity.
Hello there, everybody. It's retired Rear Admiral Buzby coming to you here today and wishing the National Naval Officers Association congratulations on your 50th annual symposium. Tremendous accomplishment. We are so much better as a Navy and as a sea service for your tremendous efforts to recruit, retain, and aid in the career development of so many of our tremendous young officers. The role that you all play in getting the word out about our Navy, our sea services, to our young folks out in the community, telling the Navy story, providing scholarships to enable them to fulfill their dreams and to come on board with us, and then to, in the course of their careers, help them along, mentor them, provide career development as they go forward in their careers, thanks to the paths that many of you have blazed for them and are willing to share so generously in your time and in your experience. That community, that sense of community that you bring to our Navy is so critical to ensure that we have, the best people across all of races, colors, creeds, that we get the very best talent, because we need the very best talent in our Navy, given all of the challenges we have facing us today and that are facing us here in the future. We truly need to make sure that we have the greatest people on board, and the roles that you play in doing that is absolutely critical. In my last job working for the government as the administrator of the Maritime Administration, I was very pleased and honored to sign an MOU with the NNOA to cooperate with the Maritime Administration and NNOA in getting the word out and sharing our efforts to bring in, the diverse population of young professionals and professionals to be into our sea services. Because I realized very quickly that we absolutely needed to have tremendous people, tremendous talent. So thank you so much to all of you that participate in NNOA in whatever capacity. You're adding tremendously to the strength of our sea services, and you ought to be very, very proud of the great track record that you've accrued over the last 50 years. So congratulations. Have a great symposium. Thank you.
John Mauger has asked me to offer a couple thoughts on my early association with NNOA, and I'll happily do that. But first, let me congratulate them on their 50th anniversary and their extraordinary representation of the interests, expectations, hopes, and fears, as might be the case, of the African American community that serves our nation so well in all uniforms. It was back in 1999, I guess, when it was brought to my attention that there was an opportunity to partner with NNOA in, first of all, attending their conventions and making certain there was an adequate representation of Coast Guard officers there, which we were happy to do and did then, and have, I think, supported all the way through the time to date. Early on, it became an enormous opportunity to give a voice to the African American Officer Corps in the U.S. Coast Guard, to make certain that we in the front office, we in the personnel shops, we in any business adventures that Coast Guard was involved in, had an adequate representation of African American officers, first of all being educated and to gain the skills necessary to participate in all of our activities as a service. And then more importantly, to know that they had a voice that was going to be listened to carefully in the front office of Coast Guard headquarters. So that was our goal, to establish that connectivity from this brand new organization, taking it upon themselves to be a representative of a significant portion of our officer corps, and to help them both organize and make the connections necessary inside the Coast Guard headquarters complex that would yield for them a sense of belonging, a sense of representation, and a sense of actually having a voice in what goes on in this extraordinary service that we all love so very much. So on their anniversary, 50 as it may be, please accept this congratulations from an old sailor who enjoyed immensely being sort of on the ground floor of gathering the NNOA to the fold, so to speak, such that we could listen carefully and frankly deliver messages to them as might be appropriate and helpful as they were putting together their agendas to represent such a significant portion of our officer corps. Congratulations and good wishes on your anniversary.
Hello, shipmates. I'm Admiral Bob Papp, the 24th Commandant of the United States Coast Guard, and I'm delighted to be able to pass on my congratulations today to NNOA on the 50th anniversary of all the great work that you've done for our sea services, the Coast Guard, the Navy, and the Marine Corps. You know, I always look forward during the many years that I served in senior leadership positions to attend the NNOA conference. You held it in some great places, Norfolk, New Orleans, San Diego, and many other places. And as excited as I was to get to those places, I quickly found when I got there that it was all about the people. And it was a tremendous opportunity for me to speak to and listen to a lot of great junior officers, many of whom I've seen now move up into senior leadership positions within our services. And I congratulate all of you. And once again, I commend NNOA for the great work that has been done to mentor all these great officers that have gone forward. I always looked at my visits sort of as a navigation exercise. You know, as a leader, you metaphorically set a track line for your service. You know where you want to get to, and you know generally what course and speed you want to steer. but you need a navigator to be able to take a fix and provide you with recommendations. And I always viewed my visits to NNOA as visiting the navigators, the people who were going to take a fix on our progress and give me recommendations on what we needed to do to stay on course. Now, a good navigator can give you a number of recommendations. One is that you're on course and on speed and just steady as she goes, maintain course and speed. Second is you find yourself slightly off course, and the navigator can offer you a compensating course, something that will parallel your track line and keep you in safe waters. If you're relatively badly off course, they can give you a corrective course, which is to adjust your speed and your steering in order to get you back on track and catch up to where you want to be. And then finally, if the navigator finds you in really tough position in foul waters, you can make a recommendation to either slow, stop, or back down until you can find yourself and get yourself out of danger and back on course. Fortunately, I think during my visits to NNOA, I got plenty of navigational advice, and very seldom did we get recommendations to maintain course and speed, and that was good. We got a lot of recommendations for compensating courses and correcting courses, and I also feel good that very seldom did we get anybody that recommended that we back down completely. So I want to thank you for giving me advice during the time period that I visited NNOA. I hope you keep up your great work for another 50 years, and I want to wish you all the best, fair winds to all my shipmates, and Semper Paratus. Thank you.
Good morning. This is Rear Admiral Retired Gene Kendall, welcoming you to the 50th anniversary of the founding of this great organization, NNOA. We are the premier mentoring, recruiting, and career development program for the young officers that have crossed the path of any brow in the Navy in a very short period of time, and we're grateful and thankful for the opportunity. Enjoy this week of fellowship, reminiscing, and just catching up with who is what, doing what, and just having fun. Annapolis welcomes you, and we are looking forward to just checking in. God bless you, and have a great week.
Greetings from coastal Carolina. Admiral Harris and fellow members of our nation's sea services, congratulations as you gather in the great American seaport community of Annapolis, Maryland. Free and open sea lanes of communication and our continued adherence to the post-Second World War rules-based international order hasn't been more critical in decades. And the 2020 Tri-Service Maritime Strategy Advantage at Sea accentuated the importance of optimizing the strategic employment of America's collective naval capabilities. As NNOA marks its 50th anniversary at this year's symposium, I'm not sure your work and mission have ever been more important or relevant. As the Coast Guard's 26th and immediate past Commandant, let me add both my congratulations and, more importantly, my gratitude to NNOA for staying steadfast in advancing your three core missions of recruiting, retention, and career development. NNOA's mission and vision are absolutely in sync and supportive of the Coast Guard's quest to be a service increasingly representative of the diverse nation our Coast Guardsmen are privileged to serve. NNOA understands and is committed to strengthening a diverse senior officer corps to enhance the operational readiness of our sea services. NNOA has been truly supportive of our respective services' diversity and inclusion efforts. My good friend Sink has personally supported many of our Coast Guard capstone D&I events. And NNOA continues to be a stalwart in fostering professional development and mentorship, including coaching, advocacy, and the generating and nurturing of a sense of belonging in the nation's sea services. These efforts on both the national and regional levels serve to strengthen NNOA and the sea services from within our collective lifelines, while also exposing future naval surface leaders through STEM outreach and other impactful initiatives to the rich opportunities available in our nation's sea services. So let me wrap up with my most hearty congratulations on this 50-year, half-century milestone. Celebrating 50 years validates the enduring impact and the value of this strategically purposeful organization. And let me add my personal gratitude and my thanks to Admiral Harris and all of NNOA's national and regional level leaders, including our extraordinary Coast Guardsmen, for your superlative efforts. The Coast Guard couldn't have a better partner moving forward to strengthen our naval forces by building a naval force representative across all ranks of the rich and diverse nation you serve. Godspeed, Semper Paratus.
Well, first of all, a big hello to my good shipmate, Sink Harris. Sink, you've done a great job with this organization, and I pass on my thanks and the thanks, I think, of everybody in the Sea Services for what you've been able to accomplish. I pass on my hearty congratulations on the 50th anniversary of NNOA. You've done an extraordinary job over the last half century of bringing people together, having conversations that matter, and focusing on the things that bring us together and not divide us. I've always used a nautical metaphor to describe the value of diversity in organizations and how we make decisions. And the analogy is basically a nautical fix, where you want different lines of position spread apart to give you a higher fidelity, more robust solution. And NNOA has provided that diversity of viewpoints. It helps all of us succeed and look to our organizations to be more diverse, inclusive, and more even-handed and equitable in how we execute our programs. I congratulate everybody on the event that's occurring. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I want you to know that as a former Commandant of the Coast Guard, I fully support everything you do, and I salute you on the extraordinary job you've done and what you're going to be able to do for the country in the future. Good luck.